welcome to the Arvideezy Sports Channel with your boy Arvideezy. Happy to be back in full effect. Seemed like I was gone for eternity, but I'm back, baby. I'm back, and happy to have you guys joining me as we on the road to 500 subscribers at this point. I need you guys to keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and share, comment. I like you guys comment. Hey, speaking of comment, quick comment on reply to a comment. Reading a comment from Tremaine Moore. He said we need to see more hurry up offense this year. If so, top 3 offense in football this year. Mark my word, he said. Tremaine Moore, shout out to Tremaine Moore. Tremaine Moore, I have to agree with you on that 150,000%. I think we need more hurry up with this offense. We need to go. We need to get it going. We need to get it going. I appreciate that comment, and I look forward to you guys commenting. I always learn something from you guys. You guys, us Commander fans / Washington football team fans / Redskins fans are the smartest fans on the face of the earth, and don't you forget that. Okay, today's video is about this legend. This guy, was one of the best. He should have been in the Hall of Fame by now. I know his stint with the Washington Redskins at the time was short. I think he played about maybe 5 or 6 seasons with us. He went to about 2 or 3 Pro Bowls. He was on a NFL's all NFL team maybe 2 times. I think in 90 and 91. Like I said, he went to 3 Pro Bowls, I want to say. The guy was a stalwart, man. Dominant in that campaign that he was here with the Redskins. Of course, it's an offensive lineman. He does not get talked about at all. And I wanted to put a highlight on this guy. He held his own against some of the greatest ever. Some of those guys in the Hall of Fame: Reggie White, Bruce Smith, Lawrence Taylor. He shut those guys down when he faced them. He only gave up 1 or 2 sacks in 66 starts. What else? This guy shut down Bruce Smith in the Super Bowl. You guys already know who I'm talking about now. The one and only Jim Lachey. Jim Lachey does not get talked about. Jim Lachey was one of the dominant offensive linemen in that short period of time that the NFL has ever seen. We had Joe Jacoby on the other side, and I understand Joe Jacoby is a finalist. He came up last year finalist, should have been in the Hall of Fame. Russ Grimmer's the only one in the Hall of Fame, and that 91 offensive line was just one of the most dominant offensive lines the NFL has ever seen, and it's a tragedy for them to only have one offensive lineman that has entered the Hall of Fame. You had Stark, you had May. I mean, the list goes on, man. Even Jeff Bostic, Riley McKenzie played a solid part. I'm not saying Riley McKenzie should have made the Hall of Fame, but Riley McKenzie was a real cornerstone of that offensive line also in the early days and in the late days. Mark Streff, he went to Denver Broncos, but he played a intricate part in that Super Bowl team, that 91 team. Hat goes off to all those guys. I just wanted to highlight Jim Lachey because I don't think he get talked about enough. I mean, you had those 1,000-yard rushes. You could put anybody back there. I could have been back there. Actually, I was good back there. But anyway, you could have put anybody back there and they would have had 1,000 yards. They've rejuvenated Ernest Biner from his fumbling days. That fumble that cost him in Cleveland, cost him his job. He came to Washington with a fresh start, and he took off like a rocket. He was a big part of our Super Bowl winning team. But the most important part is that Mark Rippon won the MVP of that Super Bowl, but they could have very well easily gave that MVP to that offensive line. He only got sacked 7 times. That's unheard of. I don't know if it's an offensive line that actually broken that record. I could be wrong. I haven't done my research on that right there. I could be wrong. But as it stands, to my knowledge, the Redskins was the most complete offensive line, most dominant offensive line ever. They was named the Hogs. I mean, the only offensive line that had a nickname. All the great defenses had a nickname. Wide receivers had a nickname. All the groups had a nickname. But the offensive line, they the only offensive line that ever had a nickname. That core stayed together for years and years and years. That core was something special. And you younger Commanders fans, you had to seen it to believe it. You know, Joe Gibbs can run anything. He can do anything with that offensive line. And they can be out of the same formation, but run different plays out of that formation. He had that much confidence. He never had to scheme anything up. You know, people knew we was going to run the clock. They knew we was going to run the ball. They knew we was going to run the clock out. When we had a lead, they knew we was going to run the clock out. And guess what? They couldn't stop it. They couldn't. We went up against the 85 Bears. The 85 Bears is arguably top 5 greatest defenses ever. Went up against the Philadelphia Eagles defense, one of the greatest defenses ever. All those defense, what I'm trying to say, we went up against the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. They were supposed to do everything they were supposed to do to us, and we still was able to do what we wanted to do, you know, but no problems, no issues. We went up against all these great defenses, and we held our own. They knew exactly what we wanted to do, and they couldn't stop it. That's telling you something. That's that offensive line. We plugged 3 different quarterbacks in. Guess what? All 3 different quarterbacks won Super Bowls. Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, Mark Rippon. And to make it so unique and spectacular is that Mark Rippon couldn't scramble to save his life. He probably ran a 4.9. But guess what? They kept him upright. Mark Rippon sometimes probably didn't even have to take a shower. He probably wore the same uniform back-to-back weeks because it wasn't dirty. I'm not making this up, young fellas, young people, young Commanders fans. You're probably saying to yourself, nah, man, come on. Ask some of the older Commanders fans, the original Redskins fans like myself. And we'll tell you, Mark Rippon could literally go 2 or 3 games with the same uniform on without getting it washed. Facts. And that's how dominant that offensive line was. But Jim Lachey, my hat goes off to you, buddy. You're one of the greatest Redskins of all times. To me, you should have been in the Hall of Fame. It's a tragedy that they did not even consider you. I know your time period is short, but they should look at the body of work. Look at the body of work in that short period of time. Injuries derailed him this last 2 seasons. Other than that, Jim Lachey would have had a longer body of work. And I know he could have been and should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame. And I stand on that to this day. He still should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame. People going to say, "Oh, you're just biased because you're a Redskins / Commanders fan. That's why you're saying that." You know, I know that people will argue me down. Oh, he didn't have his career wasn't long, this, that, and the fourth. But look at his body of work and look who he went up against and look what his teams did. And that'll determine, whether he should be in the Hall of Fame. Just look at who he had to go. Look at who was in his division. Look who he had to go against. And that'll sum it all up. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out that we should have had more offensive linemen inducted in the Hall of Fame. Like I said, it's a shame. It's a shame. But hopefully, if us fans and the media, those sports writers, can put some pressure and let's get them in. You know what I'm saying? But we got to parade it. We got to celebrate it. We got to announce it. We got to egg it on. If we can do that as a fan base, hey, get that guy in. We got Art Monk in. We got we're starting to get Joe Jacoby. On the final he's coming in. On the semifinalist list. He's a runner-up. So let's stir up some more conversation. Try to get Jim Lachey in. It's a shame that more of those guys are not in the Hall of Fame. It's just a shame. And we need to change that. We need to make some noise. Let's get it going, y'all. Let's get it going. Anyway, guys, it's slow out there. Training camp is ready to start. We're not that far away from it. It'll be more news to come. But since it's slow, I wanted to touch on some of the things that I feel like need to be discussed, and that's Jim Lachey and that offensive line. I just wanted to bring some enlightenment on that and try to get the pot stirring up a little bit, Other than that, there's nothing going on out here. And once again, I want to thank everyone who recently subscribed to my channel. I'm nothing without you guys. Please share, like, and subscribe. And let's keep this thing going. Let's keep the ball rolling, baby. Thanks for tuning in to RDG Sports Channel. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.